Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Solana Smoke. So today we are the 30th of April, episode 13, and I'm very excited to be with you. So what we'll do, we'll watch our usual Solana Floor videos, and this one, it's basically covering up everything that happened in April. And to join me today, we have a nice cigar, a nice cohiba with a gentle coffee. And yeah, that's about it. So let's jump in right now. We have the video lined up, and you'll see a lot of interesting stuff. And at the end, I have a little surprise for you as well. So make sure you stay along. So here we go. Solana Floor. And as usual, we'll be reviewing while we listen. All right, let's go.
Imagine for a second locking $45 million in a vault, watching it grow to around $1 billion, and then realizing that the vault owner just changed the password. That's what Justin Sun claims happened to him. So here's where we are. Trump's biggest crypto company got sued by its own investor. Elizabeth Warren is destroying Trump's new Fed chair pick in a televised hearing, and DeFi just lost over $500 million to North Korean hackers in a single month. It's not looking good. Crypto is under attack from all sides, but it's only getting worse because the midterms are approaching rapidly. The Clarity Act is still not signed into law, and with widespread calls to end Trump's alleged crypto corruption, this self-styled crypto president has a rough few months ahead. Now, the problem is, those few months could be even harder for us in the crypto industry, because Democrats are building their entire midterm brand around this so-called crypto corruption. And a man who was supposed to be the crypto president, the savior of crypto, as a family project that just got hit with a federal fraud lawsuit from the guy who helped rescue it. So here's the real question that nobody really wants to answer directly. Is this enough to set crypto back by 4 years? Or does crypto find a way through, find new regulatory momentum, find new liquidity, and somehow rally out of this deep and demoralizing bear market?
So good question. Are we back, in 2022, like he says? Are we going back 40 years? But I think, we're seeing things way different than they were 4 years ago. That's for sure. And there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes that we're all depending on, like for example, Clarity Act. But of course, if you just look at the headlines, we're hearing politics getting into the game with Trump, of course, Justin Sun and his lawsuits. We have all these hacks that have happened during April. Will be the Kelp or the drift, and overall, of course, it's hurting the industry. That's for sure. So let's see if these different crises, affected us, and let's see a bit why, and then we'll discuss a little bit further.
Now, the short answer is yes, there is a way out, and we'll get to the how and the when. But now we're facing at least 3 separate crises. April's turned out to be a disgusting month for crypto, for DeFi, for regulation, and certainly for the self-styled crypto president. Here's what we know. 1, clarity still hangs in the balance. Senator Cynthia Lummis herself said that we might be stalled until 2030. That could be a catastrophe.
I mean, 2030, imagine that. We've been talking about it on the channel for a while. And everyone was like, yeah, no, another couple of months. But then the banker comes in, and they don't like that we can yield on our money, and that actually the users are keeping their money. So I understand why they're kind of against the whole Clarity Act.
Trump's biggest crypto company, World Liberty Financial, just got sued for $75 million by its own investor in federal court. Now, Justin Sun has described himself both as the largest investor and the first and single largest victim of World Liberty. Oh, and by the way, he airs all of the dirty laundry in this very long post titled, "This is World Tyranny, not World Liberty Financial." It's not a great look for the crypto president, for his family, or indeed the industry which helped elect him. Crisis number 3, Elizabeth Warren dismantled Trump's Federal Reserve nominee on live television. She grilled him about this $100 million in undisclosed investments, potential Epstein ties, and whether or not he'd be a sock puppet for Trump.
Could you answer my question, please? I asked. You have $100 million in undisclosed assets.
Senator, I have worked tirelessly with the ethics officials at the Office of Government Ethics.
And you have not
come to an ethics agreement with them
$100 million
and have agreed, Senator, to sell all of
That's
my financial
not my
assets,
question. Mr.
including
Walsh, are
the
you
Duquesne
refusing
assets.
to tell us if you have investments, for example, in vehicle setup to advance Jeffrey Epstein? Is that what you're telling us? You just won't tell us?
Now, the overarching issue here is that plenty of experts like Raoul Pal have been expecting a liquidity boost to essentially save crypto prices. Now, we were banking on Kevin Walsh taking charge of the Fed and lowering interest rates to open those liquidity floodgates.
I think he will err on the side of lowering rates earlier than this Fed would because he believes in the productivity enhancement of AI.
So again, we have 3 crises in 1 month, and we haven't even gotten to North Korea yet. Now, to make matters even worse for the crypto industry, the former IMF Deputy Director Mohamed El-Erian, who we just heard from, thinks that at current rates, we're about 4 to 8 weeks away from a global recession. 4 to 8 weeks. Listen to this.
How likely is a global recession, a UK recession?
I would say it is likely that the UK and the globe will avoid a recession provided, and here's the important thing, provided the straits are reopened in the next 4 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
If they're not reopened in the next 4 to 8 weeks, it will look very different, unfortunately.
That would take us into global recession in your view.
Okay, if you grew up with those clear...
So, I mean, clearly, many problems. I think the Justin saga, I think, was very well covered.
Tech electronics,
understood,
this.
what was going on.
That's right.
Yes, it would.
And when it comes to, I think something was kind of maybe not properly explained. Everything is around the USD1, the stable coin that is around the kind of the center of this lawsuit. And everyone is using it. There's over 2 billion in circulation. But the problem was really that its reserves are being questioned in federal court right now by Justin Sun, the largest investor. And he actually at some point was so much behind Trump that he was one of the biggest holders just to get a dinner with him. So it's the fact that the reserves are being questioned. I think it's a properly kind of systematic risk story. And if unfortunately USD1 has kind of a bank run moment like we've seen, it's really a contagion, and then all the stablecoin market could be affected. Then there's the other thing that there's the whole SEC fraud settled. I don't think it was mentioned here, but in March of 2026, the SEC settled against Justin Sun, and right after that, all the Trump investment as well cleared. So it's interesting. And then of course there's the whole we saw it a little bit when they were talking about the court. It's like, why are we hiding all this information? And we're now kind of in a crypto crisis, and a lot of projects are under scrutiny, but then we're not giving real answers to the people. So that's a bit difficult.
Right, so here's where the bittersweet comedy starts. Now, for the record, it ends in federal court, but it starts with Justin Sun. He's been called a career con artist. He's been accused of money laundering, being an enabler of human trafficking, of scams, of terrorism. Now, these claims are obviously unverified in courts as of yet, but Tron was a copy of Ethereum. He lied about plagiarism there. He secretly owned HTX, and he lied about that too. Now, his fiery SEC fraud case was settled in March, just last month, for $10 million, conveniently right after the Trump investments cleared. So back to the Justin Sun versus Trump saga. Here's a succinct overview of the timeline. Tron was being investigated by the SEC for market manipulation. Justin Sun then became a top holder of the Trump meme coin, and he put $75 million into World Liberty Financial. Investigations were dropped, as we just saw, and then Sun's exchange Tron went public via reverse merger, with none other than Eric Trump taking a role at the company. Then more recently, Justin Sun accused Trump's crypto project World Liberty Financial of secretly embedding a backdoor into its own smart contract, and worse, treating the crypto community as his personal ATM. Now today, Sun's frozen World Liberty Financial tokens, which were once worth between $700 million and $1 billion at its peak, are worth around $45 million, and he's got no way to sell. But it gets even crazier. In an absolute crisis comms breakdown, the official World Liberty Financial account posted this: Justin's favorite move is playing the victim while making baseless allegations to cover up his own misconduct. We have the evidence, we have the truth, see you in court, pal. Now, this week, Justin took them up on that by taking World Liberty Financial to federal court to protect his own legal rights as a WLFI token holder. He's claiming breach of contract and fraud. But the complaint also claims that World Liberty is on the verge of collapse, and he questions whether it has sufficient reserves to even back USD1, which by now is one of the top 10 most used stablecoins in the world. But here's where the fight gets even spicier. Eric Trump backs World Liberty Financial. He slams Justin Sun's lawsuit as ridiculous, while another co-founder, Zach Whitkoff, says that the claims are meritless. He accuses Justin Sun of misconduct. Now, to make things even tastier, here's a video of an intoxicated Zach Whitkoff apparently getting arrested for drug charges, and it's now recirculating.
Relax, sir. You're insulting me. Look, stop. Just relax. But you're insulting me. Okay, I got you now.
So what are we having here? I think simply we're having, another billionaire see you in court kind of moment. No, it's just impressive. Like we at the same moment we're having Sam Altman and Elon Musk, kind of fighting, and then we have this right now, kind of more on the crypto side, where we're all supporting each other when everything is green, everyone is friendly, and then whenever things are going down, everyone is kind of looking up dirt on people. So yeah, a little bit sad, but this is what's happening.
I got you now. Relax. Officer, get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Relax. Officer, relax. Listen, I'm going to talk to you right now, okay? I'm going to detain you, and then we're going to talk to you. You understand?
So what's the point in all of this?
A cheap case like this might throw in your pixel 10. And here's why. When people get a new Google...
Well, it's that Justin Sun has a long list of past and ongoing legal battles, and his entanglement with Trump's largest crypto venture, World Liberty, only fuels the fire under Elizabeth Warren's seat to go after the entire industry in November's midterms. Now, call this crisis number 4 if you will, but it's worth noting before we get back to Trump, to Justin Sun, to World Liberty, and what all of that means for the crypto industry's future.
Exactly. I think, one thing is important here. Of course, Justin Sun has a lot of ongoing legal battle, but ultimately, it's just looking bad on the whole, crypto industry. So whatever we're thinking of him personally, whatever he's doing it right or wrong, ultimately, I think a lot of the whole crypto industry is kind of pending on those lawsuits. Would it be against Trump, against Sun? So it might just, expose something real, but maybe let's not panic yet, because ultimately it's still up for debate. It's in court, and we have to make sure that the industry keeps on pushing and kind of ignore all these political moves and kind of go back to the builders. Really, what are we doing here? What are we building?
Because DeFi hacks just reached $578 million this month. We saw $285 million drained from Drift Protocol on April 1st. We covered that in great detail, so please go and watch these videos if you haven't done so. Then on the 19th, we saw Kelp DAO drained for $293 million. Lazarus, the same North Korean state-sponsored actors, are implicated in both of these hacks. And that brings the 2026 total to well over $600 million in just 4 months.
Insane, right? Like 600 million, like we covered it in a couple of the last videos. I think ultimately here what we're seeing all these attacks that are going on, and we're not attacking the code, like the North Korea, the hackers, Lazarus group, they're attacking the people. And so it's not smart contract exploit, is really, how the people are using the code. And unfortunately, it's difficult and it's hard to defend against, We can audit, of course, code, but we cannot audit what's happening between people constantly. So there is maybe one thing that we're not seeing in here is that there is, we mentioned it last time, but there is now kind of these new methods of working with the code so that it's more secure. They want to remove the nonce. And ultimately, I think there is an element where something that I read about these kind of post-quantum signature roadmap using Qualcomm, and those might become very interesting in the future if we're kind of paying attention to it, because now all the security exploits are being human, but if we're now actually being attacked in the future by computers, then this is where the core teams, need to have a kind of a longer horizon kind of threat model, where we're paying attention not only on smart contracts people, but as well longer term kind of what is going to happen with quantum.
Now, we've seen hacks and exploits before. We survived the $600 million Axie Infinity hack with dollars being $78 million to hack, not a argument. No more false profits. Crypto was finally at a great inflection point, not a technical one, but more of a moral one with existential implications. The industry had been handed an extraordinary political moment, a pro-crypto president, a friendly Congress, and a chance to finally write the rules. So we should be sending in our best people, our best ideas, and our most principled voices to represent us. We should avoid cheering for and rallying behind the grifters as we've done so many times in the past. By November this year, we'll certainly find out if we made the right decisions. Look, there's no sugarcoating this. Democrats are aching for a fight because after a bruising presidential election where the crypto industry essentially helped Trump get elected, Dems have everything to play for in these upcoming midterms in November. It's no secret that crypto ventures like World Liberty Financial, which are linked to the Trump family, are increasingly featuring in the Democrat attacks. In February alone, leading Democrats like anti-crypto ringleader Elizabeth Warren called for a probe into one of the Trump family's top crypto ventures, and they launched an investigation into Binance. She also said that the federal government should work for the American public, not for President Trump's bottom line. Meanwhile, the Dems are thirsty for Republican blood, and they say more is to come. One House Democrat even said that Trump has turned the Oval Office into the world's most corrupt crypto startup operation, minting staggering personal fortunes for him and his family in less than a year. Senator John Ossoff called Trump meme coin launch an impeachable offense. Now, these guys are out to get Trump one way or another, and they see crypto as the way to do it. Oh, and the Clarity Act, the legislation that was supposed to be our happy ending, is now collateral damage in a political war that has nothing to do whether Bitcoin or Solana are commodities. The most powerful banks in the world are lobbying against the crypto industry to protect their bottom line. Now, I promised you a silver lining, and here it is.
So I think this is what we've been talking about. Politics is, it's unfortunate, but every 4 years there is a U.S. election, and we've been kind of hoping that Clarity would become kind of the savior, and it's just not happening. Is it going to be done by November? We don't even know. Ultimately, it goes back to a banker versus crypto, and there's just no kind of fortune teller that can tell us, okay, this is going to be the case. It's kind of being blocking, and we see it in the price of every single crypto. The good thing that I always repeat is that we have, the builders that are still very bullish on Solana, and they keep on improving the system. We're learning from our mistakes, and ultimately, I think this is the most important. So I think that's going to be it for today's this video, where we've learned a lot. We know where the industry is going. We see that politics want to jump into the news, and they want to use crypto maybe as an angle to attack Trump. And of course, it's hurting us in the longer term. And we just got to keep on building, keep on making sure that whatever project mistakes happen, like, for example, all those hacks that are happening, we keep on improving. The Solana Foundation is doing great effort into making sure that we're being protected by improving the code, improving the audit. And a lot of the Solana players are actually very much helping the industry by either auditing or putting more restriction in improving smart contracts to make sure that those hacks happen less. So one last thing that I wanted to share with you, and I've been telling you since the beginning of the article of the video, that I had a surprise for you, and the surprise is we've got an official new website, and it is here. Solana Smoke now has its own web page. So go to solanasmoke.com, where you can see all the latest videos. Everything will be in here right now, of which you'll find it on YouTube. But this is going to be the new mecca for you guys to have access to all the episodes. We'll be putting some show notes. telling you as well a little bit more about what we smoke. And as always, if you want to join me on the call, feel free to reach out. I would love to, do this podcast with more guests to keep on discussing. So that's it for me. Enjoy your week. Enjoy this next week's in Solana, and enjoy your smoke. Talk soon. Bye bye.